visiting with my grandson Josh in Rush, Minnesota. I was talking to him how the Huffmans got started into the birds. One day on the radio, they had advertised on Party Line that there was a golden pheasant from George Coleman that he had for sale. I told Grandpa, Whitey, what it was. So he decided we had to go look to see what a golden pheasant was. Well, in turn, you end up buying them, and that's how our escapade got started. We came home, it grew and grew and grew. We called it Huffman's Bird Haven. We was invaded with visitors from all over the United States, plus foreign countries for many years. In fact, we had to do a book that kept our dates down, kept straight for people to come. We had even had senior citizens come in buses, loads, to our home to visit our birds. And of the predators getting into them, we decided to get out, and then Josh, our grandson, decided to take over from there, and it continues to grow from here at his home in Rushmore, Minnesota.
Now, about when do you think you got those first pheasants? About what year?
Oh, it started way back. We moved on the farm that we now live in. We moved back there in 1963, have been on the farm ever since. It probably started shortly after we had moved there, in probably the late 60s or early 70s. And we were registered with the state of Nebraska. We had bird permit. We raised a lot of wild pheasants for the state. I can't remember, hundreds of them. It was quite a challenge, but very interesting.
You had more than just birds, though, too, didn't you?
We had birds, we had sheep, and we had peacocks. You name it, we had it.
Had some deer?
Yes, we had a deer. We took care of a deer for a long, long time.
And the raccoon. I remember Dad talking about him.
We had a raccoon that my son, you could do about anything with it. In fact, he would get up on the top of his head, take his paws, reach behind his glasses, and he followed you every place you went. But somebody came in and destroyed him one time when he's gone. And then we had a bunch of Canadian geese that came in there, and the one we called her Henny, and she knew my oldest son, and he's the one that could put him with, and she'd come up along beside him, take her head and rub it up along his neckline anytime we was outdoors. And then we had a carrier pigeon that we had for years, and at mealtime, you'd go and go outdoors and holler at him, open the door, and he'd come in and eat mashed potatoes and gravy right along with the rest of us.
And you guys also milk cows, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes. We have milk cows all our married life until Grandpa came down with cancer down and back in the 90s. No, 2000. He passed away in 2004, 2005 with cancer. And we had to get rid of. We had the only brown Swiss herd in the country. We were the ones that first started the brown Swiss herd. Now they're kind of a noted one, and we liked them because they're very well good milkers and very weathered the storms, the weather and storms. Yeah.
How many did you have?
In total, dairy cattle we had, when we had to give it up, we had almost 100 head. But we didn't milk that many because we had the old style milkers that you put the belts on their back. And I had myself, Grandma, had to carry the milk about a block to the bulk tank room and dump it in milk buckets, which was quite a challenge. And then we had the truck come in and pick up the milk about every other day. And we did that until I said cancer took Grandpa's life, and we had to end it, which kind of breaks your heart, I guess you'd say. Yeah, we had come from Alaska and Canada.
Oh, Canada, yeah.
We had people come from up from there, and we had people come from all, because we had people from Texas and all over come in there. And we had schools after schools, they'd make an appointment, and on what they call the field day.
I remember
they
that.
Would come in, and then we, as they was leaving, each one of them was presented a peacock feather. Because we had three different kinds of peacocks, colored ones. And we never locked them up until they started going to the neighbors. Over to Gene Berger's, about a half mile west of us, and it was time to lock up the peacock. And yes, they help. They help when it's going to rain.
Yep.
And they're very predictable. And we had quails. We raised quails, about white and the little gamut quails.
Mhm.
And pheasants, I don't know. We had I can't remember all that we had, but we had.
I remember you had silvers when I was
We had
little.
the silvers, the goldens, the salmons, the silvers, the whites, the wild pheasants. We had the
Amherst.
the Lady Amherst. Yep, we had the Lady Amherst. I think that's about that on that.
You know, I've only found one guy that still raises salmons.
You gotta be kidding.
Yep.
See, a lot of those is gone.
Yep.
And we had a lot of pigeons. We had the tumblers.
Mhm.
Remember the tumblers? They tumble. And like I said, we had those carrier pigeons.
Yep.
And I can't remember that one pigeon's name was, but anyway, you'd open up the door and holler at it, and here it would come flying from way out west at the pens.
Yep.
And come in flying in the house. You didn't tell people that, should you?
I think I told Dad told me one time he had a quail that used to ride in his hat.
Oh, that I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one.
Little button quail.
Yep, we had those.
Yep.
We had those.
Yep.
And like I said, the pins were all handmade with rods of iron and wire, tons of wire, chicken wire, and a lot of elbow grease.
Yep.
But and we had the Barbadell sheep too.
Yep.
That whenever the school kids would come, we'd want to feed those. So I said, it's buckets of feed for each child, give each one a nibble. That's what we had to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one ram would always jump the fence.
Rambo.
Mhm.
His name was Rambo. And David has got the hit.
Yep.
Because it dropped dead out in the front yard. Yep. I found it shortly after he died. And of course, Douglas had a whole herd of Barbadell, him and Julie. And we sheared them and